Okay, I think that's good. Are we good? Hi, Fiona. Are we good, guys? Can you see me? Just give me a thumbs up if everything is okay. If you can see and hear okay. I see 1, 2, okay. We're good to go. Right, so let's just do a quick recap from last week. Last week we assembled the album. We did our gatefold in the front on the first page. And then we did what I call the concertina page that extends way out. And we did the flap on the inside of that page. Okay, so what we're going to do this week, let me show you the original, is we are going to be doing the waterfall, that one, and we should have time to do the two pages with the two pockets, and that one. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get done with all of those. Okay, I'm going to put the album to one side in case we need it. So for the waterfall, I hope you guys kept all your offcuts from last week, because I'm definitely going to refer back to these. I do not like to waste anything, so I will be using some of this during the course of the day or the evening. Right, we need a trimmer. And we need some paper. So I'm getting out of my kit, I'm getting some paper. So for your waterfall, let me just get it again here. For this one, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of card, and that measures 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. So I'm going to write that down. Oh, what happened to my note paper? So 6 times, so that's the waterfall. I said 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. And this is going to be the waterfall on page 2. Okay. Now I'm going to just take one of my A4s, and my ruler has gone AWOL. There we go. So we know that the A4 is 11 3/4 approximately. So we need 6 1/2. So I'm going to cut the 6 1/2 off on that side. And then I'm going to cut the 4 3/4 on this end, because then it means I can get 2 out of one sheet. Does that make sense? So we need 3 sheets of cardstock for that. So I'm going to be cutting this one into 6 1/2. So I'm cutting it down to 6 1/2. And if you look at the page, I chose to do mine at 6 1/2. But if you look at the page, there's the 6 1/2 mark. You've got like approximately a 1 and a little bit inch on either side. So if you want your page, this page, to be longer, by all means you can do that, but I just think it's more aesthetically appealing if you've got a little border on either side. Personal preference, actually. So let's do this. 6 1/2. And there's an offcut. by 4 3/4. So that is 4 3/4. Four and 3/4. So we need to do that twice. So I'm getting another 2 sheets of card. So 6 1/2 by 4 3/4. I'm cutting both at the same time now, so okay. So we've got our 6 pieces. That's our 6 pieces. And we need our scoreboard. Is everybody with me? Okay, so this goes into your page. This goes into the page like this. So we need to score along that top section there, which means you're putting it against your scoreboard like that. So the short end goes up against the scoreboard. And you need to score it at 1/2 inch. So we're scoring 6 of these at 1/2 inch with the 4 3/4 edge up against the top of your scoreboard. I had a play with some waxes today. I tried to wash my finger clean, but it wouldn't come off. I got in some new waxes from metallic waxes from Prima, and they are just so beautiful. Ooh la la. And I've got so many green waxes, but this one is just a tiny bit different. Look at the colors. Can you see the shimmer? It's just so gorgeous. That's the pearl white. It's quite a nice color. Okay, so we've got our 6 pieces scored. We can add tape to the dented side. And I'm using 10 mil, which is more or less the equivalent of 1/2 inch. I have this cut specifically for me, so you can see there it's just under 1/2 inch, but it's a convenient size to fit into that gap. So you don't have tape hanging over on the side. Oh dear, where's my scissor? Here we go. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to watch me put on tape, and I need to go a little bit at a slow pace to make sure that those who are following along can keep up. If I'm going off screen, just let me know. Give me a shout. Oh, I forgot I can actually sit tonight. I faced the mic downward tonight. So, is the sound okay? I must just see if I'm in shot, because now I can't see. Hi Helen, how are you? Is it still so cold over there? Okay, and we've got 6 pages all done, taped up. And now what do we do next? Does anyone remember? We have to burnish. Is it soft? I'm good, Helen. I'm very good. Thank you. So the sound was better up. I'm trying to see if there's any more comments about them. Okay, can you hear me now? Vicky Sach. I can sit, thank you. I just need to speak up a bit. Okay, I'll try my best. I'm good at speaking loud, I think. I've got a big mouth, so just turn up your voice a bit. I'm turning up my voice. Okay, so we're burnishing all these areas. And like I said last week, you can see that the color on the red tape changes when you burnish. And then we've got the bubble side there, so we are folding over towards the bubble, and we're going to score that. Is it soft, Traffic? Is the mic? Is it loud on you? Your side? Okay. So I have got 6 of these to burnish and fold. And if you don't have a scoring tool or a bone folder or a scoreboard, when you're making albums, I think those are 2 items that you really need in your stash. It just makes the construction of albums a whole lot easier. And then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to burnish it on the other side as well, because let me just show you the difference. I'm just waiting for my feed to pick up and see. Yeah, you can see it. So if you see the difference, this one is lying completely flat and this one is still a little bit raised over there. So the moment you burnish it on the other side, it goes down flat, and that just, when you're putting it in your album, it makes it easier. It lies down nicely. Okay, so if you've wondered why your flaps are not staying put, it requires burnishing. And why I like the Teflon bone folder is because you can rub this thing up and down on the black and it won't leave a shine. Okay, so we've got that. Then we need the little flap that goes up. What's wrong?
No, it's just the mic. But is it okay? Is it properly in?
I think it's in properly. I'm so bang to move anything because it's just not go off. Okay, so what we also need for this is this little flap here, and we've got some of the offcuts that we trimmed off that A4 sheet, and it looks like it's the perfect size. You see the width wise, I think that's a perfect width because it doesn't take away too much of your pattern paper. So let me just grab a wider piece. So if you take a wider piece, you could possibly, but I just feel that the purpose of this is just to hold everything down. So the narrow one works for me, and that's one of the strips that we cut off. So that strip has to be, let me just see the measurement, 5 3/4 by 1 3/4 approximately. So let's see there, that's approximately 1 3/4. So I'm just going to cut it off at the 5 3/4 mark. So flap strip 5 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I used the offcut. So I'm just going to cut on my side here. I've got a little table, so let's just say and then we need to score 1/2 inch on that side. So we just make a space here. So I'm scoring 1/2 inch down there. That is just to fold it in. And then what is optional is I rounded the corners. So if you do have a corner rounder, you can round off those 2 corners there. Oops. Like so. And then we can put tape on there. Burnish and fold. Now I hope I have to, yes I do. At this point we're also going to need to add some magnets to that page. So let me just get my album out. Oops, apologies, I just knocked the camera. For some reason the camera is very low tonight. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, so this is the page we're going to be working on. We've got the flap there and the 2 flaps going up and down. So this is page 2. So what's going to happen is these are going to be kind of centered on that page, and this one will go down at the bottom to hold it all together. But what I always forget is to put my magnet. So I'm just going to very lightly write magnet in there to remind me, and I will write magnet on there to remind me. So when I'm busy with my pattern paper later on, I will be reminded that, oops, before I stick the paper down, I've got to put my magnet down. But we'll do that tonight, and then I will also show you how I do it. So where's my white sheet? So just as we did last week, I'm putting down the white sheet here so I can see where my margins are, because it's all black on black. It's very difficult to see what's going on behind the scenes there. So if you put a white sheet or anything light colored underneath, you'll be able to see where the end of your page is. It's a lot easier. So where's my glue? So I'm going to start sticking that down. Oh my gosh. Nice. Look what, it's a new glue. It's coming out so fast. Okay, and for this I'm going to have to stand because I need to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to eyeball it and give myself an approximate gap on either side of this. So more or less, I'm not very pedantic about it being perfect. So I've got some glue there now. I have to erase it with my glue eraser a bit later. Okay, so we've got that down, and then the next one has to go in. Really? So I must stand? Okay, so I've been told when I stand the volume goes up, so I'll stand. I shall stand. It's only an hour. Right? I don't see what the point of the mic is if it doesn't work. So next one is going to go directly below that one, and it goes one below the other, and just try and see if they're aligned. Yes, and we can stick. And so you're just going to stick each one below the other until all of them have been stuck down. And like last week, I also showed you that you can actually do it this way. Oops, wait. Don't stick. You see, I'm so famous for sticking skew. Lucky this is going to have pattern paper over it. So if you want to, you can just do that and pull. So fortunately my boo-boo's been covered. And the next one goes in. Like so. Pull and stick. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in. And this is why I don't like Tombow. It is sticky like crazy. And glue's supposed to be sticky, but that glue just goes everywhere. Next one. So here you have to try your best to keep everything aligned and to keep it nice and straight, so that your waterfall actually lines up nicely. Because if it's not straight, it doesn't look nice. So this is the last one going down. And this red tape, once it sticks, it sticks. If you've used it before, you will know. It sticks like crazy. Just want to get rid of all my residue. And then we are going to burnish this on the inside so that it lies nice and flat. And the glue or the tape makes good contact with your paper. There we go. And then this is your little piece that's going to go on here. And you can be precise and measure the gap there, but I'm just going to eyeball it. And usually what I do is I flip this over, because then I find I can see that edge a whole lot better. So I'm just need to see if I'm straight, more or less in the middle. And there we go, down. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the magnets on so I can show you how I do mine. Now these are the magnets I use. Let me just put this one out of the way. They are tiny, and these are actually 2 magnets together. So it's really flat. This is the flattest magnets I could lay my hands on. It is 1 millimeter flat. So you have the option to use 2 magnets, or if you've got like a washer, a lot of people use another metal object, like a flat piece of metal. I like my magnets to go click, so I put 2 magnets. And just grabbing a thicker tape. So then what I use is I use a slightly thicker red tape for this, because it just makes it easier. The magnet sits nicely in the middle of it. And there are various ways of putting this magnet down. If you've got a way of doing it, by all means stick to it if it's working for you. This is how I do it. So I am going to just flip this on the side so you can all see what I'm doing. So I've got that, and I'm going to put the piece of tape there. Now I don't throw this away. I hold on to that. I put one magnet down and then I cover that up again, because you don't want this sticking all over on everything afterwards. And then I just throw that down. Now these magnets have a north and a south pole, so if you put it down the wrong way, and I don't know if you can't actually see, but if you mark it, or if you put the wrong one on the other side, then it's not going to stick down. They will actually repel each other. So what I then do is I put, oh, that is much too much of a big dot. I keep forgetting this is a new tape. I mean a new glue. So I just put a little bit of glue there and I put that down. Now that gives me an idea of where my magnet needs to go and where my tape needs to go. So then I will just put down a piece of tape there, peel off, close that up, and my magnet is stuck. So there's lots of other ways that people have used. This one works for me. So if you have a way that works for you and it's better than mine, by all means stick to it. But that's how I do it. So there we go. Magnets in. That's one page done. Now we need to go on to the next page, which is, hi Sharon. Is everybody with me? Are we all on board? Am I going too fast? Are we okay? So this is the next page, and I've just got some of these photo mats in here, but in fact if you see how loose they are, you can get quite a bit into this pocket, and because we've got that 1/2 inch gap there, there's enough space. And in what I think we could also do, let me just see if this is interactive and it will work, is you can even put one of those on either side and your album will still close nicely. So we'll get to this later on. But for purposes of aesthetics, I put these very, very pretty journal cards or photo mats from the range. And what I love about this is that we've got the picture on the one side, and on the other side you have a perfect back. It's just so cool. I think that's a great idea. Something our local people should think about. So this one measures, I've got the measurements here. So the pocket page is 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now I need to think back as to how I did it. I just want to check if I have a piece here that will work. So that is, yes. So this is one of my offcuts from previous, from last week. I think I cut it off of one of the pages. So I'm going to see if this one is going to work for me. So I need to make sure, let me just show you quickly so we can all know which direction I'm heading. So this is your 7 3/4 side, and it is 7 3/4 because the 1/2 inch is under here, okay? And then this side is the 5 1/2, what did I say? 5 3/4. So this is the 5 3/4 side, and that's where the scoring is there, and the scoring is there to create that pocket. So if I remember correctly, what I did was I took a sheet and I just cut it in half. So let's see if I'm remembering right, because it was a while ago. So what did I say? 7 3/4. 7 3/4, and the reason why it is 7 3/4 is because our inside of our pages is 8 inches, and if it's 8 inches, it's going to be too snug against the here we go, back to the sample. It is too snug against the spine here, and then your album's not going to open and close properly. So I decided to leave that gap there. Okay, does that make sense? 7 3/4. Slow down a bit, Shamla. Okay, Auntie Navi, sorry. I'll slow down. 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, the one thing about this trimmer, while Auntie Navi's catching up, is that this is the only gripe. Let's talk about my trimmer while Auntie Navi's catching up with us. Auntie Navi, you can just let me know when you're ready. Is the only problem I have, this is a fantastic trimmer, is that there's 5.5 and there's 6 inches. There's no measurements in between. So for a 5 3/4, I have to bring out a ruler. I sometimes just eyeball it. Maybe that's why sometimes my 5 3/4 measurements are out. But for everything else, this thing cuts amazing. I am not sorry. I'm just going to make this one 6 and see how it goes. I don't want to cut off too much of this paper and then it's a waste. So we've got that. And then I am just going to trim that down the middle. So what I'm doing here is, I just want to see if I'm in shot, is that point and this point I'm just putting right on the edge of my trimmer and I'm cutting it down. So now we've got 2 pieces. Are you all with me? So, Assalamu alaikum, Jalila. So Jalila also bought one of these trimmers, and we bought these trimmers on Amazon, is it Amazon? Jalila, it was Amazon, Amazon.com, not .co.uk.com. And the reason why I had to get it from Amazon, because I did so much research. I did intensive research on the trimmers, because I love trimmers. If you see the amount of trimmers I have, it's just, it's oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. But the blades go blunt, etc. The only thing that I don't use that one for is for very small areas because of that wide gap. Otherwise, I cut almost everything with it. And I inquired with several of the companies in South Africa who import. And there's one company specifically that's got distributorship for Fiskars here. But unfortunately, they said it would cost over 4,000 Rand if they had to import it. So I got it on Amazon for just a little bit more than half the price. But it is really worth every cent because it cuts like a dream. It really does. Jalila, you can stand testimony to that. Auntie Navi, are you all caught up with us? I'm just trying to see if Auntie Navi is up to date. Okay, so now this was our piece, which we've cut into half, and it doesn't have to be accurate, you know. I'm sure this is not 100% accurate. Let's see. Oh, that would help if I flip it over. Okay, it's pretty fairly accurate. So we need to score this on both sides. And the easiest way to do this is to put the right hand, the square part, into the corner of your scoreboard, so that you know you're going to get a good score, or an even score. So we're going to score one side there. And then I'm flipping it over. And I'm scoring on the other side. Okay. And I'm doing the same with the other one. So making a right angle and flipping and doing the other side. I'm almost sure I did this. Okay, so now before I put the tape on, because I scored on 2 different sides, I'm just going to burnish and fold these ones so that it's all nice and closed up. Okay, so we've got that now. And once you've done that, you can now manipulate this to go either way you want it to. And then I'm going to do the same with the other one. So fold towards the bubble, burnish, fold towards the bubble, and burnish. Okay, now where's the album? So let's see how this is going to fit into the album. Auntie Nubby. Hi, Lauren. Okay, Auntie Nubby says she is up to date. So we've got these pages here now. And then we need to figure out how this is going to go into our album. And that's how the one side's supposed to go in. And then, of course, the other one goes... let me just figure that out. There we go. We go. That's how it goes. So now you see we've got all these little extras sticking out there that you are going to trim away. Trim. And trim. So we've got that. And this one will be going this way and that way. So we are trimming that one and that one. So we've got the one that's going here, and we've got the other one that's going here. So when you're doing yours, remember that the long side is going on the base of your page. Okay, so this is where it's a little bit tricky if you're putting your tape on the wrong side. Okay, so just remember, put your, if you are an experienced album maker, then this is not going to be an issue. So I'm speaking to those because I've done it before. I've put the tape on the wrong side. So make sure of the side that you need to put your tape on. So if you want to really be pedantic and you want to make sure that you're not going to make a mistake, flip this over and mark the area. Okay, flip it over, mark your area. So now when you open it up, you know exactly where you need to put your tape down. Does that make sense? Hi Merle, welcome. Right, so I'm going to add my tape. Now when I'm adding tape, I'm only going to add from that corner and from that corner that way. I'm not putting tape on that area because that I'm going to be cutting away. So let me show you. So from that end, and I'm putting the tape on the side where I've marked with a cross. And I'm trimming it off there. And then I'm just going to cut that straight. And I'll just go over the line like that because I need to trim that straight. And then cut it off a little way before that line. So that's what we've got. Okay. And then I'm going to clean up that piece, get rid of that. So, are we all good, Auntie Navi? And then we will do the same with the other one. So tape on the side with the marking. Remove the excess. I didn't do a good job there. And then I'm trimming that straight. Where did the beginning go? There we go. And we're putting a piece there. Now there's a couple of ladies in South Africa who have manufactured Annemarie Wolmerans and Sandy Cock. They have a little tool, and mine seems to have gone AWOL. I've bought both, and I'm such a lazy scrapper or album maker that I tend to always forget that I have it. So this is where you should be using it, actually, where you're cutting these corners, but I tend to eyeball. So when we're cutting this, we're cutting across. Let me just mark it so you can see. Okay, so we're going to cut across that join there. So you're just going to cut straight across that join. And when you fold this over, that we don't want. I don't know if you can see that little residue there. That just makes it look a little bit untidy. So I'm going to just trim another piece off there. And that's better. Okay. Because you want a nice corner. And we're doing the same on this one. And I always check to make sure that I've got a nice corner. The way to check most of the time is to make sure that they don't overlap on the inside here as well, because that just creates unnecessary bulk underneath this flap. So that's another thing to remember. Okay, so now we can place this into our page. So, page 2. Oh, I love that sound. Click. Okay, getting sidetracked, Shamila. So, this is like our double page spread where the 2 pockets come in. So, remember what I said? The long end comes at the bottom of your page. So, if I wanted to put the long end on that side, you can clearly see that it's not going to work there. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it this way, and then the pocket is too short. So just remember, once again, when you're putting your tape on, that the long end comes at the bottom. So I'm going to put my paper in again so I can see my borders, just so that it gives it definition. And let me see if I'm in shot. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to rely on my glue once again. Okay, so I've only put glue on that side. I didn't pull off this side yet. And I'm going to hold that open like that so I can line up the bottom before I stick down the side. And I think that's good. No, it's not. It's skew. Sorry. And even with the Tombow, the stuff sticks like crazy. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't stick. Don't stick, don't stick, don't stick. It's stuck. Okay. Running repairs in progress. In process. You see what I mean about... Lucky that's going to be hidden away. And this has to be straight. It can't be skew. Otherwise, it's not going to look good at all. So, take 2. Line up. I had no idea it's going to be so hard to do this with the camera stuck in my nose. Here we go. Better. And so now I must get rid of that glue. And there we go. Okay. Fortunately, this is inside the pocket and nobody's going to see my disaster there. Let me put some glue on there and stick it down like that, so that we're not going to have any anything hooking into that piece. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got glue there. And then the bottom piece you can just take off. Let's hope the second one goes better. I've done this like so many times. Works perfectly. And then you go and do a Facebook Live and it goes skew. Yay! Okay, next one. So maybe I should just do it like this, eliminate the glue and just be brave. Okay, both done. So there are our two pockets in. And if you wanted to, you could make your pocket higher. I just felt that if I'm going to put some pattern paper on this area here, instead of covering it up with a pocket, I just wanted to see more of the paper. Okay, right. That's cool. We're doing well. Shafiq, how much time have we used? So, what's the next page? So that's the pockets. Then we've got this page. Now, one of the reasons why I really like this kind of layout is because you can actually use one sheet of paper or have your paper carry on like that, which is really nice.
Busy 40 minutes.
Oh, there's still a lot of time left. We're only busy for 40 minutes. So, and the other thing is, if there's a photograph underneath here, you can see that there's another picture here, which is nice, so that the person would know that they can flap open and flap open. So, and these panels will fit a jumbo size photograph. This is actually the size of a jumbo, what's it, 4 by 6 inches. So that is, let me just double check. Yep, that's exactly 4 by 6. So these two flaps will fit a perfect jumbo photograph. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 spots for photographs if you're not going to be adding a lot of pattern paper. Now, when you are doing, and one of the reasons why I haven't started cutting into any pattern paper yet is what I normally recommend you do is to add your photos first. Look, the pattern paper is not cheap. Paper is expensive. So if you're adding your photograph, so for example, if I had to put a full 4 by 6 on this page, I didn't need to add any background paper because the black is already a background. But this is where personal choice comes in. And that is why I decided to crop that and create a smaller photograph there. And that's more for aesthetic purposes. So instead of having like more variation, so instead of just having a photo, you've got a little bit of design, if I can call it, in your album. And like here, let's just see what this measures. That is exactly 6 by 4. And we had a little offcut strip, which I just popped on there. And it also adds a little bit of interest to the page. I hope that makes sense. So, like, this is really nice. I love this little layout. I really do. Because it's simple, it's quick, it's easy. And it got a good, you know, you can have 4 photographs. Plus, you can have another 2, probably jumbos on the other side. So, on one page, you've got 6 pictures. Which, for me, that works. Okay. So, this measures 4.5 by approximately 6.5 inches. So let's see from our strips. So I've got that. Let's see how much this measures. So that is about 5, and that's about 8.25. So I could use one of those. I could use that, but I think I'm going to keep that for a photo mat because it will work nicely for a photo mat. So let me get another sheet. So I'm going to cut that down to, what did I say? 4.5 by 6.5. Right, so we know that we're going to do 6.5 on that side, so let's do that. 6.5, that's exactly 6.5, and then we're doing 4.5 here, so that's 4.5. So these are for your portrait photographs, which means, so there's another piece left over, so which means that when we are scoring, just grabbing the scoreboard, so these are portrait photographs. Now I sometimes get confused between portrait and landscape, so let's just talk about it quickly. Portrait is when we've got the short ends on the top. Landscape is we've got the long ends on the top. So these are for portrait photographs, which means we need to score on the long end. So our short bit is, what do you say? The short piece is across the top of your scoreboard, and you're scoring down the long side. Portrait. Okay. This glue's gone all over my hands. It just makes me feel grubby. Okay, so we've got 2 there, and we can put our tape on because we know the tape can go on the dented side because it's going to fold towards the bubble. Just trim that straight. So when I stand, the sound is better, apparently. Shafi came to tell me. So maybe my phone's mic is on the top. I don't know. And we need to burnish this well. And the other one, fold towards the bubble. And then flip it and give it another burnish. And we do that so that it lies nice and flat. Now why do we have this here? What is, oh no, this piece. Okay, so we've got our 2 photo mats here. Let's get the album back. So we've got that. And now this is going to go one on top there. Oh, where's my paper? We need that. So one will go there, and when that one is down, we will stick the other one on. So let's see. Try and align everything up. And we open that. Now this one, we cannot put it directly onto that hinge there because then this is going to have trouble closing. So it needs to lie next door. So it lies, and it's a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch, but let's call it 1/8 of an inch, just to be on the safe side so that we know this is going to close. Okay. And let me just check mine. I may have made this one slightly narrower. One moment. I'm just looking at it now and I'm thinking, I did. Okay. Let me just trim off that piece. So, the second one. If you see here, how can I show you now? Let me just put that into place. So if you look at this, I'm going to raise it. you'll see that there's like a little piece that is protruding, and I didn't like that. It's coming back to me now. I didn't like that little bit sticking out, so I actually trimmed that one down slightly. So I'm going to do the same now because I want it to be lined up next to each other. And so that is 4. So I'm going to take off just a little piece, and I'm going to check it quickly to see if it works. Yes, so it was literally a slither. That's what I took off. And now when I line it up, you can see that they run in line with each other. Okay. And I'm going to turn this so I can see what I'm doing. And I hope you can see as well. Okay, and just see. Slightly out. Sorry. I want it to be perfect. Some glue there. Okay. Let's see now. Okay. Oh, the concentration. There we go. Right. Okay, done. So, just want to wipe off that glue. I'm not a fan of glue, this glue. So I'm going to burnish this so that it will lie flat down. And the top one. And we've got that one done as well. Now this is optional. You can put a magnet in here, or you can, let me just see, where's my one? It does eventually go down flat. I think I must have burnished it like crazy to get it to lie down like this. Okay. So you can actually opt to put a little magnet in here if you want to, but I don't think it's necessary. With all the to and fro of folding it, etc., it will eventually fall into place and stay closed. It's getting better. Okay, so what's next? I haven't prepped for anything further than this, and I think this one is a little bit of a complicated page because we're going this way, we're going that way, we're going all over. So I think we will leave that one. Let's see what's left. There's another little waterfall there. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can finish this thing next week, eh? Or what we can do, seeing that we still have some time, is maybe do this one. So I'm going to skip this one because this one is going to take a while for us to do. And we can do this one. So let me just measure it out quickly because I haven't prepped further than the other page. So that's about 4.5.
We're in 5 minutes on a minute.
Okay, but I'll just finish this one and then we can carry on next week. And then this is 7 3/4. So we need a piece that is 8 3/4 by approximately 4.5. So let me cut one down. Oh, hold on, let's check what we have here. Let's check what we have here. So that's 8.25. No, that's right, 7.75. That's perfect. What did I say? 7.75. Hey, it can't be bigger than 8 because the page is 8. See how I'm talking to myself here. Oh my gosh. So we need, yeah, we do need 8.25, because if I take away from there, hold on, we can use this piece. Okay, so instead of 1/2 inch, I'm just going to score on 1/4 inch and see what happens. So that's an off cut. And this is how I think when I make albums, because I really don't want to waste any paper. And I think this is the right, it's the right width. So let's do it like this and see what happens. So now we're going to need a little bit of a thinner tape, 6mm. And it just makes it in that 1/4 inch gap. So remember now, this is one of the offcuts that I had from one of the previous pages we made. And I think I said to you earlier, I'm going to use it as a photo mat. But guess what? We've changed our minds. So let me burnish that. Because this is just, it is just a belly band. So the belly band does not need that much space. Let's see if it works. So that's the one page. I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect. So yeah, you should, from your kit, from last week's scraps, we should have a piece that measures 8.25. Let's just see, it's 8.25, so the full width of an A4 by approximately 5 inches. And that piece will work perfectly in here. So you can just eyeball it and fit it into that gap. Let me show you my one. There we go. That's what it looks like. It's not perfect. It's not right on the end on either side. It's just because this is all black. You can't really see the line. And then what I did was I just glued a piece on the top and the bottom, and I always leave black borders just to break the eye. Looks like a piece of tape stuck there. Okay, so we can glue this down. White page. And here, if you want to measure, you can. So let's just see quickly. This is 8 inches and this is 5. So we need approximately, now if you want to get technical, we need approximately 1.5. 1.5 gap there, 1.5 gap there. If you want to be perfect. Okay. So let's do this. Maybe what I should do is just give myself a bit of a, where's my pencil? Oh gosh, it's gone missing. Okay, I'm just eyeballing now. I'm not gonna still measure. Here we go. Eyeball. Best form of measuring. So just remember that doesn't go right into the corner. And now I've put more that side than this side. So, okay. Okay, so that's your belly band. And here's the little booklet that goes in there. There we go. And on my one, I used one of the ephemera in the cutout sheet. I just stuck it down halfway, and I used some of the tags. I love the tags, so cute. I used some of the tags, and I just embellished it like that. And then that, and this one is a full A4 sheet that was just scored, so you can put approximately 8 photographs on that sheet, which is quite nice. And that goes in there like that. So I think we've accomplished quite a lot tonight. Auntie Nabi, are you up to date? The measurement for this one, yeah, it's 8 1/4 by 5. And if your little offcut is a bit narrower, it doesn't matter, because then you'll just have more space. But see what you've got there. In fact, if you wanted to, you could even use a narrow one like this. But because I had it available, I just used it. Okay, Elsabe, is that okay? Yeah, and then I just scored, instead of 1/2 inch score, I only scored it 1/4 inch, because I'm stingy like that. I don't like to waste. And so that's where we're at for the moment. I hope you guys are all up to date, because I think next week we can finish up. And I don't know if you want to go through the putting on the pattern paper, etc. But I've had people ask me about the treasure chest. Not a treasure chest, I keep saying my traveling trunk. So I've had people ask me, thank you, Elsabe. I've had people ask me about the traveling trunk, if we're going to be doing a tutorial on that. I've got so many things that I want to do. I don't know if once a week is enough. But thanks, Ronald. You're welcome. So let me just get Shafik to help me take out the camera out of the holder. And we can finish up. I hope it was okay tonight. I feel like it was a little bit boring. I don't know if it's just me that's thinking it's boring. Was it boring? Was it okay? Tell me. Thank you. Okay. Hi there. Okay. Now, are we all up to date? Thanks, Merle. Thanks for popping in. Nachlida. So, let me just pull this mic out. I don't think it does anything to me, actually. So, it was fun. Okay, I'm glad, because I always worry. I feel like I don't know if the content is always good enough. So I need help there. So you guys can let me know if the content is informative, if it's good enough for you, if you're learning anything. Because, you know, I've been doing this for so long, and I sometimes think that some things might not be as important as others, and then for someone else it is important because they've never heard it before. So yeah, if there's anything else that you guys want to do, because I'm pretty sure next week we can finish the assembly of this thing. Do you want me to do the pattern paper with you, or because I am probably going to use orchids and cats, I think. And I'll see what we have, because that's what I've got on hand. But that's it from me, everyone. Have a good night. I hope you guys are up to date, and I will see you next week. Until then, see you in cyberspace. Bye now.